Genetics are where the true power lies. In some cases, with NFTs, you can buy them and you can buy them at a high price, but you can't be guaranteed to sell them. And so the same thing with genetics and cannabis. You can get what's promised to be the next great genetic, the next thing that's supposed to sell like crazy next year, but you really don't know what's gonna happen until next year comes around and you actually have that finished flower ready to sell. Just because people tell you, especially nurseries, just because they tell you that some new genetics are coming out and they're gonna be the next big hit, you can't truly be sure until you see how the market responds and what it keeps continually asking for. And that's on a consistent basis. And you can't really see that on a new strain that doesn't hit the market on a broad level. And so what happens is some of these licensed nurseries put these different strains in a rotation and hype them up for whatever reason. Maybe because they truly think that they're going to be the next big one, or maybe they just have them in their mom stock and they want to get them out into the market and they want to use those to, rotate their quarterly strain selection or something. And really it starts with understanding what strains the market really needs and wants and demands for. And then if you're a nursery, stocking those strains and stocking those moms so that you can have a steady pipeline of those strains. So that's a big root of the problem, is if the nurseries don't have the right strains, then the growers aren't going to get the right strains, or they're going to have false hope buying certain genetics and finding out 6, 7, 8, 9 months later that they can't sell the genetics that they bought. That's just a rough example of how important genetics are. And the importance of genetics in the cannabis industry is looked over by a lot, because it's one of those small details that means so much, but especially people from the outside coming in don't understand the importance of it. And they just put whatever genetics in that they can get or that they get a good deal on. So whoever holds the exclusive and sought after genetics can then capitalize off of them. The rarity and scarcity play into the demand and ultimately the sell prices too. So having solid genetics that's proven to be in demand is the easiest way to run a successfully profitable licensed cannabis business. And that's why I really stress it to the nurseries, because there's times where they'll put out strains and they'll really pump them hard and the market just gets filled with it. And really, the other trick besides, being cognizant of what the nurseries are supplying is, if you're a grower and you're not doing your own sales and you don't have your own buyer network already contracting cultivation services from you, then you got to reverse that and you got to reach out to your selling network and find out what it is that they're selling and constantly ask this, find out what they're selling, how much of it they're selling. Ask deeper questions. Don't just ask what strain's selling the best and get that answer and take it at face value. You got to ask deeper questions. So this comes back to being in touch with that sales side, so you know exactly which genetics, if you're a cultivator, to be focusing on, to be growing, and not waste time with experiments. So don't shortchange yourself. Always learn more. Always be learning, whether it's about your product of sales, whether it's about self-improvement, whether it's about the cannabis space that you're in, the pillar of the cannabis space that you're in. Always be learning. Never feel complacent. Never feel like you know everything. A lot of these things are heavily based on your reputation and track record. So always keep that in mind. And that's where having these good genetics is going to make your sales easy, because if you sell someone some stuff that they think is good, but then it doesn't sell good for them because it wasn't good genetics, and ultimately the end buyers didn't sell and the product sat in the pipeline, they're going to be tainted by that strain. They're not going to want to buy it again. They're going to say that strain didn't sell well for us, so they're not going to buy anymore. So the genetics, like I said before, are so important that it can make or break your business. So make an educated decision on why you're going to grow the genetics you're going to grow, and don't just get what the nursery gives to you. The market's getting more and more competitive. You can grow a shitload of weed, and if it's not the right strain, if it's not the right quality, if one bad thing happens to it and just doesn't hit that caliber of quality, there's a good chance it won't sell. So don't count your money until it's actually in your hand and actually sold, and make your decisions wisely and actually do your research and collect the data. Anyway, that wraps it up for this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to go to the website, highchris.com. Again, subscribe, like, follow the channel, follow the Instagram. Thanks again, and talk to you soon.